Biden is live with Harris now? Oh, God. Here, look at this fucking asshole.
Good to be back with so many great friends. Many of whom flew with me on Air Force One today. Represents the union has been with me since the beginning of my career. They're not that old, but they're since I was a 29-year-old kid. I want to thank Liz Schuler, the AFL-CIO, and Kenny at the IBEW for that strong endorsement. By the way, we have an expression in Delaware. IBEW, when I ran for president, they're the ones that brung me to the dance starting off. Not a joke. And Dave McCall, the steelworkers. Dave, in 1972, steelworkers were the first union to endorse a 29-year-old kid named Joe Biden who wasn't old enough to be senator when he got elected. It
Do we have
mattered.
captions? Because it's impossible for me to fucking follow along with what he's saying without captions. Is there a captioned link?
Forces in Claymont, Delaware, and North, over 4,000 workers. And it was, anyway, it all went south. But Huey went to the national president, I.W. Abel, and he said he wanted me to get endorsed. Everybody thought it was crazy. I literally wasn't old enough to be sworn in the day I got elected. But guess what? President Abel stuck with me. And they got stuck with me for the rest of my career. Eric Dean of the workers, Tim Driscoll of bricklayers, April Bell of the SEIU, Lee Saunders of ASME, and a great friend, Lee. And Jimmy Williams of the Painters. And Jimmy Williams, the Painters' dad. His dad is a really good man. Mike Coleman, a sheet metal worker. We also got some of the best elected officials in America. Governor Josh Shapiro is doing an incredible job. The great Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis.
He's so old, bro.
And one of America's best words, Ed Gainey. Ed, you're doing a hell of a job. And Sir Inamato, county executive, I think is the hardest job in American politics. Everybody knows where you live and they think you can solve all the problems. You don't have enough money. But I tell you one thing, I'm the first president ever. I used to be a county official when I was 26 years old. And it always bothered me that the federal government would send money to the state to be distributed to the county. What the hell is the state going to send to the county for? All the state reps need the money. But guess what? Under my administration, it goes straight to the county. And one of my best friends, my name's Joe Biden. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Bobby Casey's been a great friend. His dad was a great friend as well. And by the way, we grew up 3 blocks from one another. 3 blocks. And they still worry about us by showing up. And guess what? I was on North Washington Avenue. He was in Adams.
Dude, he's so fucking old. One of these days, he's just going to perish on stage when he's delivering one of these speeches. Like, that's part of the reason why I watch this shit. For those of you who are like, oh, why do we care about this old fuck? Like, who cares? But, like, 1, I want to see how they message around Biden. And 2, it's like, he is so goddamn old, dude. He might literally fucking fall off the stage.
If you're in a foxhole, you want Fetterman in there with you.
Boom.
He couldn't be here today, but guess what? He sent the best part of the family, Giselle. She's here. Let me just say, it means so much to be with a true friend, the Vice President and the next great President of the United States of America, Kamala.
I'm not kidding when I say, look at the way look at the way Kamala Harris looks at Biden versus how she looks at Tim Walz.
Look, folks, I come from two neighborhoods where it's not hard to say the word union. But you know what? The fact of the matter is, an awful lot of politicians have a trouble saying union, like working people. That's right. Guess what? I'm not one of them, neither is Kamala. We know the simple truth. Wall Street did not build America. The middle class built America, and unions
built the middle class. I've heard it so many times. Wall Street did not build America. The middle class built America, and the unions built the middle class.
I asked the Treasury Department to do a study, and it shows that when unions do well, all workers in America do better. That's a fact. That's a fact. It's the biggest reason why our economy is the strongest economy in the world today, without question, because of unions. You know, my dad, like many of his generation, going into World War II, wasn't able to go to college. My dad was a really well-read guy, and he was always engaged. And he'd come home from work before he'd go back and close up the shop and for dinner. And the dinner was a place where we had discussions and incidentally ate. You know, my dad taught me. My dad would say this all the time. Remember, Joey, a job, and I give you my word to this, a job is about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about the community. It's about your place in the community. And it's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, that's why.
That's a ridiculous conversation to have with your dad over dinner, bro. Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe that at all, okay? His dad did not say that. His, like, my dad's stories are the reverse of, like, my dad's stories are the reverse of, like, when people say, like, when they get libbed up and they're like, oh, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, like, my 6-year-old said Ruth Conda forever. Like, it's literally that, but in the reverse side. Yeah, dude, no, your dad didn't fucking say that, okay? Just like your dad didn't invent, like, that's a Felix bit, but something Joe Biden regularly brings up is like, my dad told me, Joey, I saw gay people. Love is love, Joey. That's what my dad used to say, which is why in 2010 I was still barely an advocate for gay marriage.
Now, I'll tell you something. Kamala and I are damn proud that we protected the pensions of over 1 million workers and retirees.
You literally believe me when I said my dad was there when Wukong happened? Yeah, but that's because I assumed you're Chinese. And in my mind, I think you have lived for thousands of years at that point, you know? That's why when I serve the ad break, you don't even see it. One, because you're subscribed, but two, because you're Chinese. You know? So there's no ads in China. That's my point. Unless you are an American and you want to feel like you are Chinese, then all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free with Twitch Prime. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. You saying I thought you were Chinese feels like a Nick Mullen bit? Yeah, I know.
Promised every month infrastructure week. For 4 years he promised that. He didn't build a damn thing. Nothing. I mean, not nothing. Well, thanks to our infrastructure law, Pennsylvania so far has received $17 billion. $17 billion. Over 2,000 projects, from clean water to affordable high-speed internet for every Pennsylvanian. The projects that include $858 million to expand the Montgomery Lock, better to accommodate bigger barges, to get millions of tons of goods and shelves faster, more reliable, and create thousands of union jobs. I was working on the Great Lakes, and I got a call from Senator Casey. He's been no bigger champion than Casey for this. You know what I call him? I call him the Casey Locks. Not Goldilocks, the Casey Locks. Bobby's also a champion of Pennsylvania's energy communities. We passed what's called the Casey credit available to 45 Pennsylvania counties for energy jobs such as coal mining.
I can't do this. I can't. It's so boring. Oh my God.
Disappeared.
It's just so fucking
before
shitty.
we came to office. The Casey credit provides major incentives for companies to build new battery factories, wind turbines, and more. Create high-paying jobs in those coal and natural gas communities. And on top of that, there's over $4 billion.
Okay, he sounds really vibrant now.
Clean energy advanced manufacturing here in Pennsylvania. $4 billion.
Damn, he sounds really good now. Shit, I spoke too soon, Chad.
The support act signed an executive order to make sure large federal construction projects all use project labor agreements.
Oh no. Now it sounds like you put him in slow motion. You hit him with the slow motion gun.
Folks at home who may be watching this and tell them know what a project labor agreement is. It's when contractors, subcontractors, and unions put in place before the construction begins what the rules are. Before it begins. These agreements make sure construction is top-notch, on time, on task, and by the way, on budget. Yeah. There's another big deal. Buy American. That's been the law since 1930. I got to admit, I've been around, I'm only 40, but I've been around a long time. But I, quite frankly, until 10 years ago, wasn't aware. You know, back in the 30s, when they were trying to make sure unions could organize and business couldn't interfere, the law was passed that said every penny the president gets from the Senate, the House, and Congress to spend on a project, he should hire an American worker and use an American product. But past administration, seriously, past administration, including my predecessor, failed to buy America. They shipped jobs overseas where labor was cheaper and brought home the product that was more expensive. But not anymore. Federal projects build American roads, bridges, highways, and they'll be made with American products by American workers. That's why. That's why we're creating all these. I'm serious. It's simple and basic. That's why we're creating so many good-paying jobs. In fact, we're requiring those kinds of projects to pay Davis-Bacon prevailing wages so they're jobs that can raise a family on. Many of those jobs don't require a college degree. In fact, we expanded registered apprenticeships. Remember all the hell I got for doing that? We got for doing that? Well, guess what? Resulted in hiring over 1 million apprentices since we came to office. Yeah. And lots of folks don't realize getting an apprenticeship is like getting a college degree. Why? You have to train for 4 or 5 years to get that, and some of the best workers in the world are right where we are. You know? When you're in Pittsburgh, you're standing with steel workers. Let's be clear. I believe in American steel companies. American-owned and operated steel companies.
What are you doing? Oh, Kamala's gonna make the announcement that they're not selling to the Japanese company.
American steelworkers are the best steelworkers in the world. And I made it clear last time I was in Pittsburgh, United States Steel, an iconic American company for more than a century, is going to remain an American company.
That's what they're talking about. Like, that's what they're here to do. I guess Biden kind of cucked her, though. It was supposed to be her saying that.
Remember, as a young senator, why the National Labor Relations Board was sometimes so anti-labor. It was set up to help labor, to be pro-labor. Well, guess what? That's why one of the most significant things we've done, Kamala and I, is appointing a National Labor Relations Board that actually believes in unions and believes in recognizing the right. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. We have short memories. I'm all for forgiveness. I'm not for this. Trump appointed union busters on that board. No, that's a fact. But it's real. It affects people's lives. We're going to let that son of a gun do that again? Folks, we made a lot of progress, and Kamala and I are going to build on that progress, and she's going to build on it. I'll be on the sidelines, but I'll do everything I can to help. But look.
All right, bro, enough yapping. Like, come on, get the fucking Kamala. Jesus Christ. I mean, she sucks too, but holy fuck, dude, I'd be pissed. He's just still yapping.
Trump, literally. With a stroke of the pen, he can get rid of a lot of this. And do you think this guy gives a damn about your pensions?
Please.
No, I'm serious. Do you think he loses even an instant of sleep over it? Do you think he...
Hasan Hobby, dude, you're so damn negative. Like, what the fuck? I wonder why I'm so damn negative about a fucking 800-year-old lizard person who had to fucking drop out of the race because he's so goddamn unpopular that it was impossible for him to win, being placed in the fucking forefront of the goddamn current political campaign for the Democratic Party. I wonder why. Like, it's so stupid that Biden is out here, like, talking about any of these fucking accomplishments when it shouldn't be. It should be, all the good stuff should be attributed to Kamala Harris, and all the bad stuff should be attributed to Joseph Robin and Brandon, and he should just be quiet on the fucking side.
These are facts. These are not campaign slogans. Let me close with this. 5 years ago, I began my campaign for president right here in Pittsburgh. I said one of the reasons I was running was to rebuild the backbone and spine of America, the middle class and working class folks. Not a joke. Think about it. Think about it. Well, 5 years later, we've done just that.
What? In Netanyahu's speech, it was suggested the partnership of Biden and Harris has come to an end? Yeah, no.
I'm back in Pittsburgh on Labor Day again with a simple message. As we look at this election, I spent my whole career believing in unions. I'm not joking when I say that. I'm honored to be considered the most pro-union president ever. Yeah. Yep. By the way, remember all the talk, Biden got elected and he's going to do a planned economy. We're going to collapse and there's going to be all this caving in. Interest rates are going to go through the ceiling.
Oh,
Come
God.
on, man. I'm here to tell you.
Wait, what? Interest rates are going to go through the ceiling?
Hard-working people. Everyone in America deserves a fair shot. No.
Why did you mention that part? I mean,
if you care about the dignity of work, you care about the dignity of work, and I mean it matters, the dignity of work, the way you're treated, the decency. Yes. I remember when my great-grandfather was only the second Catholic elected statewide to the state Senate here in Pennsylvania. And I remember they talked about when they're running against him in 1906, they said, guess what? They said, he's a Molly Maguire. You know what a Molly Maguire was? Well, those of you who don't, a Molly Maguire, back in the old days, when we Irish and the Catholics came, and then the Poles and others that were Catholic, when they came to the United States of America in the beginning of the 1840s, in the late 1840s, they made their way down into Pennsylvania. A lot of them, and there's a tier in the coal mines. Those guys who got there last ended up being the last people in the coal mines. But a lot of the English owned the coal mines, and what they did was they'd really beat the hell out of the
Look at her face.
Mostly Catholic population that was in the mines. Not a joke, not a joke. But there was a group that called the Molly Maguires. And the Molly Maguires, if they find out the foreman who was taking advantage of an individual, and they'd literally kill him. Not a joke. And they'd bring his body up and put him on the doorstep of his family. Kind of crude. But I got to admit, they accused my great-grandfather of being a Molly where he wasn't. But we were so damn disappointed. You know, that's a joke.
Okay, his senility has caused him to say some unimaginably cool shit.
And when I met with the IBW, I started off this last campaign first, I said, there's two things I'm asking of me. And I said, two things I'm asking of you. One, you got to open up your unions to more women. Not a joke. And two, to more minorities. You've done both that. And guess what? Instead of having support of 30% of the American people, it's now over 65% of the American people support the American union movement. It really is all about the dignity of work. Then there's only, if you care about the dignity of work, there's only one person you have a rational choice with this time. And that's Kamala Harris. Not a, Let me tell you about this woman. I know her. I trust her. Not a joke. I trust her. Number two, the first decision I made, the nominee in 2020, was selecting her as my vice president. And by the way, it was a single best.
Again, great message, worst messenger. This is another great message, worst messenger moment. Okay? Most parts of this fucking speech is like, you know, it's not bad, right? But it's like wild that he fucking said, as a joke, but even though, like, as a sitting president, he talked about how disappointed he was that his grandfather didn't murder his fucking foreman.
She has the moral compass of a saint. This woman knows what she's doing. Folks, I promise you, if you elect Kamala Harris as president, it'll be the best decision you will have ever made. Yeah. And Kamala believes as I do. The unions are the spine of this economy. She'll be a historic pro-union president. Yeah. So, folks, we got one more job to do together. Let me ask you. Are you ready to fight? Yeah! Are you ready to win? Yeah! Are you ready to elect Kamala Harris our next president of the United States of America? And in the process, are you ready to make Donald Trump a loser again? I've never been more optimistic about America. We have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. There's nothing, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, there's nothing beyond our capacity. Nothing. When we do it together. And that means elect my friend, our great Vice President, President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Nothing beyond our capacity except for, you know, a ceasefire in Gaza, but that's besides the point. Yeah, no, he said elect her as the president of the United States.
It is good to be in the House of Labor. And it is good to be back at IBW Local 5. And can we please give it up again for our President, Joe Biden? Now, I don't have to to tell the brothers and sisters of labor that you really get to know somebody when you're in the middle of a fight. That's right. When times are hard, when the forces are mighty, when people don't believe something can get done and they have 1,000 excuses for why it can't get done. And I have spent more time with this extraordinary human being when the cameras were not in the room, when the stakes were high, when the heat was intense. And Joe Biden has always stood with the workers of America and labor unions of America. Always. Always. I've been with him when he'll bring folks into the Oval Office. And you know how Joe can get sometimes. He doesn't spare words. It's good that sometimes the cameras are not in the room when he has those conversations. Because the thing about the Joe Biden I know, and I know you know, because he has been a friend of labor for so long, for his whole life, Joe Biden can be quite impatient. And that's a good thing for that kind of leader. Quite impatient. And I say to all of the friends here, the press that's in the room, history will show what we here know. Joe Biden.
I'm voting for Biden, dude. She's right.
Transformative presidents.
I'm writing in Biden, dude. She's right. I'm writing in Biden.
And it comes from his heart. And you know, Joe and I talk a lot about the fact that we are so proud to be the most pro-union administration in America's history. Yeah. And as we know, Joe's still got a lot of work to do, so let's also understand that. So I want to thank all the incredible leaders who are here today, including the Governor Shapiro, Lieutenant Governor Davis, Senator Casey, who we will re-elect this November, Mayor Gainey, President Schuller, President Cooper, all the leaders of labor who are here, all the union members.
Bro, I can't get over the fact that Biden literally talked about how his grandparent, how disappointed he was that his grandfather didn't murder his foreman. Like, that just happened. It's sick. That was so fucking cool. What a crazy situation.
And of course, the historic IBEW Local 5. For more than 150 years, the brothers and sisters of labor have helped lead the fight for fair pay, better benefits, and safe working conditions. And every person in our nation has benefited from that work. You know, everywhere I go, I tell people, you may not be a union member, but you better thank unions for that 5-day work week. Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. Thank unions for your vacation time. Because when union wages go up, everybody's wages go up. When union workplaces are safer, all workplaces are safer. When unions are strong, America is strong. And we are clear. Not only has Pittsburgh shaped the history of America's labor movement, today you are also shaping its future. In 2021, with my dear friend, the Secretary Marty Walsh, who the President appointed to be Secretary of Labor, he and I hosted a meeting right here in
Marty Walsh!
And it was part of the White House Labor Task Force that I lead. That day, we met with a group of computer programmers who were working to form a union. 1 month later, they signed their contract and became one of the first technology unions in our nation. Standing on the shoulder of all those who have been here and fought the good fight. So Pittsburgh, I remind us of that to say together, we are fighting to build an economy that works for all working people. And that has always been the vision of the labor movement. And that is the vision of our campaign. You know, in this election, there are two very different visions for our nation. One, ours, focused on the future. The other, focused on the past. We fight for the future. We fight for a future of dignity, respect, and opportunity for all people. We fight knowing it's some backward thinking for those folks to have been suggesting for years that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down. You know, that's the stuff they're pushing. That the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, when we know the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. Who you lift up. Do you fight for workers? Do you fight for families? Do you fight for those who must be seen and heard and deserve the dignity that comes with hard work?
I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of wild how fucking hard she goes on like the pro-labor message. Both her and fucking Joe Biden kind of pop off big time.
So we're 64 days out from
This
this
is
election.
literally one of the only times where I've listened to Kamala Harris speak continuously and not gone, oh my God, this is so fucking
And it will
boring.
start dropping in 14 days.
No, I don't mean Walt.
14
I mean
days.
fucking Joe Biden as
And
well.
this election is, as much as anything else, a fight for the promise of America. For the promise of America. We love our country. We love our country. And we know it is one of the highest forms of patriotism to fight for the ideals of our country. And that's what this election is about. And about the promise of America. And I don't need to tell unions what the promise looks like. It's what you do every day.
Dude, this is like an unthinkable type of message from a Hillary campaign. I hope you guys understand that. Like, it's not that long ago where like this kind of like hugging and kissing of the unions was unimaginable. Like they just took the union vote for granted. That was it. They were like, shut the fuck up and literally just vote for the Democrats. Who else are you going to vote for? I'm not even joking. Like, I mean, this is pandering, but it's good pandering, you know? It's actually shocking. Blue MAGA communism, all ideologies intersect with Harris. Yeah, this is like a legitimate change of pace. And also, in comparison to her other speeches, this is like one that actually does have a little bit of spirit, which is shocking.
President Donald Trump blocked overtime benefits for millions of workers.
And by the way, I mean, they're going to start talking about like the policy differences as well, like what they will give to unions. Don't say thank you, Sean O'Brien. Shut the fuck up.
Union busters
He
to the
didn't do
National
this.
Labor Relations Board.
That's copious.
And don't forget, he supported so-called right-to-work laws. And if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he intends to give more tax cuts to billionaires and big corporations. He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He wants to impose what, in effect, would be a national sales tax. I call it the Trump national sales tax.
What is this? I don't want to at you. This is a shitty take. You're wrong to support the Dems. Are you serious? She said no one will ever be free. What are you talking about? First of all, what did I say that was like incorrect? You should just focus on the statements that I'm making and not the ones that you have imagined in your mind. Okay? In terms of the Democratic Party's track record, like this level of openly, outwardly pro-union support in an election cycle where they're trying to win an election, in comparison to previous administrations and previous runs, this is unheard of. Okay, that much is true. This doesn't mean I'm like, oh my God, I love Kamala Harris. Go out and vote for her, please. Like, I never said that. You know? I literally said, yeah, this is the first time I'm not dying of boredom while listening to Kamala Harris, and chatter called you a Dem lover.
White House, we will continue to strengthen the Affordable Care Act and make prescription drugs affordable for all Americans. We fight for a future where every worker has the freedom to organize, and we will pass the PRO Act.
In comparison to like what Kamala Harris is saying. Also, Kamala Harris also like directly has things that they can point to that they've done, like genuine moments of
most important,
genuine moments of like significant accomplishments from the Biden administration.
To the very end.
They can point to that.
It's going to be a tight race.
Hillary Clinton could not.
End. So let's not pay too much attention to those polls, because as unions and labor knows best, we know what it's like to be the underdog.
My great-great-grandfather actually did kill his foreman.
And we have some hard work then ahead of us. But here's the beauty of us in this room. We like hard work. Hard work is good work.
Wait, this is what you always say when there's no love from the left? Many holier than thou leftists think you stand with Harris because you went to the DNC. Some chatters were trying to convince Boy that you were a Kamala supporter, and Alexa was like, nah, I know him. Wait, trying to tell Alex and Alexa, dudes who I talk to on a daily basis, dudes who have like lived in my house for months on end when they come to America, dudes who I'm close friends with, like what my political positions are is so funny. Alexa used, that's my real life friend. That's so funny, dude. Yeah, no, they're right. They got me. I'm glad that they're advocating for the truth in the Boy channel.
Ready to fight for it. And when we fight, we win. God bless you. God bless America.
What are the odds she's only messages directly about unions because of Labor Day to actually send it? No. That's normal. That is what they do. That's why Hillary Clinton on Labor Day was fucking addressing labor unions as well, despite the fact that she never once mentioned labor unions in general. But sadly, I've seen it a lot in the leftist community on Instagram. People are asking me why I'm following you when you support a Zionist genocide supporter, etc. law. That's so awesome. Yeah. Especially on the issue of like being pro-Palestinian. That's pretty funny to have like white guys from Iowa who just learned about the conflict, possibly from my YouTube videos, coming across your page and being like, it's really fucked up that you're following this genocide supporter. Like, follow policing on Instagram is pretty funny. Like, calling me a lib for a litany of different reasons is one thing, right? But saying that I'm a genocide supporter and not like pro-Palestinian enough, like not sufficiently pro-Palestinian, is pretty hilarious. It's okay. You know, let them wear themselves out, I guess. It is what it is. It's not the first time that this has happened in my career. Almost every single one of those like people that were like, I am more leftist than you, are now firmly within the right-wing camp.